On this episode, I think I found the absolute possible best way to clean Tolex. Well, hello and welcome to episode 4 of this Traynor YT-15 base cabinet restoration project. So on this particular episode, we're going to do something I've been putting off for a long time because I hate doing it and I didn't know the best way to do it. But I'm here to tell you tonight on this episode, I think I found the absolute possible best way to clean Tolex. Now this is 40+ year old Tolex that I'm working with. Again, this cabinet was manufactured in 1974. So it's actually 5 years older than myself. And as you can see from these still shots, it's pretty nasty. Now you saw in the episode 1, I tried cleaning it up with a Lysol solution and just a rag, and all it did really was get it wet. But this product here, and I'm keeping the label blocked for a very specific reason because I want you to see what it actually does before I tell you what it actually is. So with that, let me go ahead and get started and clean this puppy up. Before I get started, I'm actually scrubbing the Tolex. I want to make sure I have access to this inside edge, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the grill. Now you saw in previous episodes, I did already install the nameplate just because I wanted to see what it looked like after I put it on. This is not the replacement grill fabric. That's coming. I should have that up on an episode next week. I've also got all the parts that I need to actually recone the speakers. So with that, let me go ahead and pop this grill cover off and we'll start cleaning this sucker up. Alright, so here we have this mystery bottle of cleaner here. Now what I'm using to actually scrub it with, this is a shoe polish brush. Now this shoe polish brush is really old, so I don't really mind if I tear it up. In fact, you're probably going to see some of this natural hair, I think it's horse hair, come off, and that's fine. But the reason why I chose this particular type of brush is because it's a very soft bristle brush, and it's not going to scratch the actual 40+ year old Tolex. That's a big consideration. For some of the smaller nooks and crannies, I'm just going to use an old toothbrush. So first thing is first, let's go ahead and soak this thing down, and we'll get started cleaning it up here in just a minute. And I'm telling you, this is by far, out of all the things I've tried over the years to clean old grungy funky Tolex that's got dust that's been baked on from sitting in trailers on tours and gigs and things like that, this, I don't know why I never thought of it before this, but it's pretty awesome. So now I've got a liberal amount on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start scrubbing it. I'm hardly applying any pressure whatsoever. I'm really just putting enough pressure on here just to move the brush. It doesn't take much. You can see some of these suds. They're already starting to pick up some of the dirt. So now I'm going to start applying a little bit more pressure. Keep going in a circular motion. Kind of Karate Kid wax on, wax off style. Get this front lip. Alright, now that I've got that done, let's go ahead and start wiping it off. Now, because the Tolex green is kind of deep, you're going to still see some white on there, and that's fine. But look at that. Now granted, I know it's still wet, but you'll see once this has an opportunity to dry that it's going to look very similar to that amp head. I tested this on a couple other cabinets, on this PV118 cabinet. I did that. That thing has never looked as good as it looks now. Neither has the head for this cabinet. So I'm really excited about this. Look at that. I mean, it looks, aside from the scratches, I mean, it really looks brand new. So we're going to address things like this on the next episode. Besides, we want to have a nice clean surface before we start touching up some things like that. All right. So let's skip to a time lapse of me doing the rest of this thing. Man, that looks so much better. Woo. Okay, well, we're all done scrubbing this sucker down. Now, I think everybody that's watched this will agree that this looks a lot better. It's not perfect. There's still a lot of scuffs and tears on this that are small. Overall, this cab is in great shape now. I'm really happy with the way this is coming along. So, let's see what this product is. You ready for it? Alright, so what this is Meguiar's convertible top cleaner. Man, this stuff works great. Now, I have this kicking around the garage because I'm a Jeep driver, and a couple times a year I have to clean my vinyl top. And this is what I use for it, and suddenly it just dawned on me, if it works great on my dirty, muddy Jeep top, why wouldn't it work good on Tolex? It's essentially very, very similar in composition. And this, man, it works great. It doesn't damage the Tolex. It looks good. It still is going to need a shine, maybe some Armor All on top of this once everything is done. But man, I'm just so pleased with how this turned out and how easy it is to do. Again, this is something that most old amp owners just dread doing. I've seen other videos on YouTube with people just going at it with toothbrushes and just random cleaners and spending hours and hours and hours. All said and done, that took me about 15 minutes, and the results are great. So I'm not getting paid or sponsored by Meguiar's. So with that said, tune into the next episode where we start looking at some other hacks to try and patch the Tolex tears on the cheap. Thanks for watching. This is Brian from the Basement.